Prime Minister Modi has spoken in the lower house of the parliament. In his final speech in the parliament ahead of the Lok Sabha elections of 2024, he has made several big statements today which really have once again set the tone for the next few months. Remember, in the budget session of 2024, Nirmala Sitharaman had very clearly said that the BJP plans on releasing a white paper on all the mishaps under the Congress government. Today, Prime Minister Modi, while highlighting the many successes and achievements of his own government in the past 10 years, made it a point to clearly highlight the faults of the previous government. The basic premise of his speech was the fact that under previous governments, there was an issue of a poor mindset towards the country, a poor mindset towards the ability of the people of this country to work for development, and an overall mindset that India is lazy, that Indians are lazy. He began his speech saying that under the previous government, when India became the 11th largest economy in the world, they were very joyous of this achievement. And all global economic powerhouses at that point in time had put in place a timeline for India of 30 years, that in the next 3 decades, we will perhaps manage to reach the position of the 3rd largest economy in the world. They'd set a timeline of 3 decades, 30 years. Prime Minister Modi says that ever since they came to power in 2014, within 10 years, the country has moved from the 11th largest economy to the 5th largest in the world, and give him 5 more years and the number will be, rather the ranking will be the 3rd largest. That has been the change in mindset of India. That is the big premise that has been set by the Prime Minister. Is what the BJP has done enough? Do these numbers then of the 5th largest economy actually mean anything to the common man of India? Has our position in the world as the 5th largest economy trickled down in terms of development that you can touch and feel to all the people of this nation? That's a question that we have to ask ourselves, and in it perhaps will lie the answer of who the nation will bring back to power come the 2024 general elections. But what really is it that our political analysts and leaders have taken away from the Prime Minister's speech? I'm going to take this conversation forward. I have with me Savio Rodriguez of the BJP, Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, political analyst with us, and Dr. G.V.R. Shastri with us as well, Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist with us on the broadcast as well. Let me begin this conversation with, if I may, Savio. Savio, very clear political speech there by the Prime Minister. We usually, of course, when we hear him speak, he does highlight what the BJP has managed to do, what the vision is, but he took the opportunity today to really lay out maybe some points that will be brought out in the white paper that is yet to be released, but really laying the foundation for that as well. When the Prime Minister says or makes allegations against the first Prime Minister, saying that he probably thought that Indians are lazy, is that really something that we need to now maybe think back on, or is that something that we've moved past and there is perhaps no point in thinking about it anymore?
Devika, let me tell you what I truly believe. Because over the last 3 weeks, my co-author, Amit Bagaria, and I have been analyzing the last 10 years of the work done by the Narendra Modi government. And I can tell you without a doubt in my mind that BJP will get 370 seats and NDA will cross 400 seats. Do you know why? Because we set out to write the book of about 40,000 words. It's roughly right now, as you and I are speaking, 86,000 words. And 86,000 words chronicling every single initiative taken by the Narendra Modi government for the welfare of the people of India across every different strata of society. And that is the hallmark of a good leader, and that is the hallmark of a good team. People are talking about reasons to vote for Modi. I can tell you that we haven't stopped counting the number of reasons that we were planning to write on. And the problem is the opposition will continue to criticize the Narendra Modi government. But if you were to compare the efforts, the initiatives of the Prime Minister Modi government on national security, on women empowerment, on youth empowerment, on healthcare, on technology, on infrastructure development, on foreign relations, on internal security, you will realize that the government has initiated the plan to ensure that India moves to the third largest economy within the next 5 years. And by 2047, they will be the largest economy in the world. And these are figures, these are statistics that we have researched and we have worked ardently on. We have been critical as well. But the point is, what is it that Narendra Modi government is doing for the people of India? And the answer is transformation across every strata of society and every sector of business and every sector of social welfare in this country. And that is why there is this confidence, this optimism, in the words of Prime Minister Modi, in what he is stating in Parliament, because works speak louder than words. And that's exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done and will continue to do.
Okay, let me bring in Advocate Gyanendra Mishra as well. Advocate Mishra, what do you feel of what the Prime Minister has had to say? Because ultimately, he says that it seems as though the opposition really loves being in the opposition. That today, the biggest people who are helping the BJP stay in power is probably not even us, but the opposition itself.
Devika, you were correct. And obviously, Modi ji was making a political statement rather than any economic statement today, because what he was telling in terms of economic development during his tenure does not make sense when you compare it on empirical data that is available. When you look at the economic growth in terms of rate, it may be faster during his period, but the moot question is that whether it passed the basic smell test. And how to look at it, this basic smell test is to identify the development, the growth which has happened during his tenures against the identified economic indicators. And this is how it is done. And obviously, it's not a debate to go on each of it and analyze it.
But if you could pick one, sir, for me, one economic data point.
There are various. You look at the employment.
Can I give him an
one
example?
You look at Mehngai at least. You look at
Can I
car
give you an
sales
example?
outlets. Look at car sales.
Okay.
Look at every economic indicators,
Okay.
and there is a data available. So it is not
No,
something
if
that
we were to
need
talk about car sales, what does the data say?
all
doesn't know.
data says all
He doesn't
data
know.
says that it all
doesn't
data
know.
says that the economic growth overall
I'm saying if we
economic
were to
growth
simply look at car
during.
sales, you've raised the matter. You said
No, no,
car
I'm
sales,
not
right?
saying,
Data of car
Devika,
sales.
I'm not.
Because the
So
last
I'm
time
not
I read,
sitting.
I thought car sales were booming in India. But
No, no,
maybe
no. You
I
maybe
could
you
perhaps be wrong.
No, no, you may be. Yana, that's the point. And we are not here to sit on an economic debate. Otherwise, I would have brought the data. You can't expect me to sit with the data. And if you want to have a pure debate on this, then let's have a debate on this. But there are empirical data. If you have your eyes and ears open to look at it,
I
that
do, sir. I do,
that
sir. Advocate
that
Mishra, that's
every
unfair to say. I do
every
want to look at the data. Therefore, I asked you. You raised the point of the data. That's why I'm
That's what
asking
I'm
about
telling.
it.
That
may,
economic,
may I
there are data available, and these are empirical
may I
data which is out everywhere.
Savio, I'll give
That
you a
the
may
moment.
I
I'll give
economists
you a
that
chance.
no, no.
Okay.
Let me first
Okay,
complete it, and
okay, moving
then
away from
Savio
the
can
economics of it.
let me. Yeah,
Because
let first get me
as
done.
the Congress and other parties will have data, I'm sure the BJP also has data. So in this war of data, all of us will get lost in the numbers. So coming to the basic premise and crux of what the Prime Minister really wanted to say today, which I've elaborated in my introduction as well, which is a simple concept of a mindset. What is the mindset of a nation and what is the mindset of its people? Does that mindset come from the leader? Does it trickle down to the people? What was the mindset of a previous government and what was trickling down to the people versus what is the mindset of the leader today and how is it trickling down to the people? That's the basic premise.
Yes, so no, that's a good question, and I don't know, what are the the mechanism to evaluate that mindset. It's all depend the way you look at it. If you look at it from a certain mindset, you may feel that everybody is very euphoric in India is what is all happening around. But you look at some the different mindset, the people are disappointed and concerned with the way the politics is being done today. So it's all depends on mindset. But yes, as far as Prime Minister Modi is concerned or BJP is concerned, they have made their mindset very clear by saying that India got independence in 2014. Once you have that mindset, where is the question of having any debate or any rightful, concrete, meaningful debate when you are ready to wipe off the 70 years of India's contributions and development domestically and internationally? You wipe out the contributions of thousands and thousands of individuals who sacrificed and who told for the development of this nation by saying that India got independence in 2014 and whatever good is
But Advocate
happening in India
Gyanendra Mishra,
will be happening.
when they say that, then they're also raising the same allegations against people of their own party. There was a time when BJP was also in power in the past. It's not like that
Correct,
they're coming to
correct,
power for the first
correct,
time
correct.
ever.
Correct. That's the question. So yes, that's why, and that is why when you look at from that mindset, it should raise a concern in your mind when a statement is given that whatever is happening in India today or whatever good is happening in India is only happening in 2014 onwards. And I'm not here to sit and count what good has happened after 2014. There's no point of doing that. And I'm not an political person to make that kind of a political statement that you look
But
at,
Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, that's what the Prime Minister said. He said that there's
Yes.
just now an inability to just be happy for the country. The opposition wants to make it seem as though the country is really falling apart, when it probably is not. That's also what he said. He said, when under your government we became the 11th largest economy, you were very happy. You were so happy and you wanted all of us to applaud for you. But today, under my government, when we are at position 5, you want to tell the world that we're actually, oh no, actually it's falling apart. Somehow they've reached number 5, the 5th largest economy. But otherwise, everything is bad in this country. Sab barbad ho gaya.
No, no, nobody is saying सब बर्बाद हो गया, लेकिन जो बर्बाद हो गया है वो तो बर्बाद हो रहा है, and it's everybody to see, and you will have to go and out those people and ask the question that what they feel about it. Go and ask the 20 crore Musliman of this country what they feel about it. Go and ask about the weaker section of the society, the tribals, the SC and STs and OBC, what they feel about it, and then they'll tell you what they feel about it, and how euphoric they feel about it, what is
Okay.
happening all around.
Okay.
So
I think I've
you
given
can't
plenty
look
of
at.
okay. Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, I've given plenty of this is what, when we talk without any proof or anything to back us up? When you spoke about economic factors, then you said you don't have the data. Now you're saying go ask the 20 crore Muslims. You think all 20 crore Muslims are unhappy? I'm sure there are Hindus that are also unhappy in India. I'm sure there are. But I don't think that anything is, it doesn't have to be always related to religion, no?
But you're telling that, that the entire country is feeling euphoric.
I'm not saying that. The Prime Minister is saying that. I'm not saying that. Prime Minister is saying that.
Yes, this is where I'm referring to. I'm referring to Prime Minister. Obviously, my and your opinion doesn't matter here.
Okay.
But it is what
I have to give,
the Prime
I'm going to give a
Minister
quick
is saying.
opportunity to Savio and then Himanshu, but has been listening very patiently. Himanshu ji, I'll just come to you in a moment. Savio, how do you respond?
You see, Devika, I'm a man of data, being a journalist and a supporter of the BJP. So let me give my good friend Mr. Mishra.
Savio, I'll dig some data very quickly. I will dig some data very quickly.
Some 2 data points, only 2 data points, Mr. Mishra.
Please.
Do you know, in the fight and the war against narcotics and drugs in India, from 2006 to 2013, under the UPA government, only 786 crore worth of drugs were seized. Now, let me give you the figure under the Narendra Modi leadership. From 2014 to December 31st, 2023, can you take the guess on the number of drugs seized in terms of the value? It is rupees 22,000 crore. When is this entire simple statistics going to dawn on the minds and the intellect of the opposition? I'll give you another statistics. During the Congress regime, can Mr. Mishra tell the people of the country what were the number of toilets that were made during the UPA regime? Let me tell you what was done in the Narendra Modi tenure. 11 crore toilets across India. That restored dignity to the women of this country, because many people ignore this simple fact that thousands and millions of Indian women used to use and have to go out to defecate, and that dignity has been restored and respected by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Okay.
Now, please tell me, in these 2 points of data, what is the indication? The indication is that I gave you something that has a social impact, which is narcotics and which is dangerous. And Prime Minister Modi has promised that India will be drug-free by 2047. And then we gave you something that is again socially driven, which is toilets to uplift the sanctity and the respect of the women. You can clearly see that the government under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is looking at enhancing and bettering the social welfare yardsticks, many other yardsticks such as national security, healthcare, technology, infrastructure development, women empowerment, and I can go on. I started to write along with my co-author Amit Bagaria for 40,000 words, reached 86,000, and we still don't know when we stop. That's the reality. Unfortunately, Mr. Mishra, you don't read and you don't come informed.
Savio, please don't make the personal judgment. You may be a great reader. No, I know you may be a great.
I have to give Himanshu but an opportunity. No, one second. Okay, I think I've given both Savio and Advocate Mishra a fair opportunity to present their points.
No. Please let me make a data point.
No, one second. Advocate Mishra, no. 1 second. I have to give Himanshu but a chance.
What is happening?
Advocate Mishra, please let me conduct my discussion. I'll come to you. There is a person who's been waiting to make a point. I gave you the opportunity. I gave you the opportunity to present your data point. You didn't have one at that time. 1 second. 1 second, please hold on. Hold on, please. Now you'll have to hold on. You didn't have it when you wanted to make the point. Himanshu Bhatt, go ahead.
No, you will have to give me the time. I cannot be ready to hold the data.
Advocate Mishra, when I asked you, you didn't have it. Now you have it. So can you please wait? That's all I'm requesting. Himanshu Bhatt, please go ahead.
Yeah, I look at it this way, I've been a journalist for 30 years and I've been listening to so many speeches. Today, after a long time, I found Narendra Bhai talking with his true sense. A real Narendra Modi of the yesteryears, what we saw. It was a visionary statement stating the path of success for Bharat, transformation of India from India to Bharat in another 1,000 years. With three key words, without uttering these words, he referred to them, and that was self-pride, hope, and vision. You must understand this. Because what's been happening, why he referred to Nehru? Because he was telling, Nehruji said from Lal Killa, that we don't work hard. We are lazy. Indira ji said from Lal Killa, हम आत्मतुष्टि में नाचते हैं, self-satisfaction. And then, when something doesn't go right, we become naumid. हमें वो पराजय भावना आ जाती है. Defeatism. Now this is the mindset what we were talking about. His entire speech was revolved around these things. He took these examples only to say that this country, a great country, was misled for 60, 70 years. And that's why when a ruling party says that they have got their true independence because we are out of the shackles of defeatism and being labeled as lazy. Why is it that today Indians are compared equally with the other nationals which Nehru referred to as prosperous people, industrious people? Why is it that Americans will have to come here and put up a plant? Yes, market considerations are there. But then you have to remember another thing, when he was talking about a true politician speaking in a Sansad, without mincing his words, he said this time, "Loota hai to lautana padega." He was talking about eroding corruption, bringing out corruption from the society. And another thing what he said, Parivarvad. It's a mindset. And that mindset was not set right after our independence in 1947. And this mindset is changed. And that is why the figures which he gave, all the economics comes later. It was principally the social change in the minds of each and every Indian. Now see here, you have a panelist who talks only about 20 crore Muslims. He doesn't talk of 140 crore Bharatiyas. Why is it that? So this mindset of 1947 needs to change.
But Himanshu, but what stops the opposition from then, or even the Congress party for that matter, to come up in the next few days with a vision for India? What is stopping them? Or are they not being able to understand that this is the politics that people are perhaps now looking forward to in India? That if a Narendra Modi can come with confidence, present scheme A, B, C, D, E, F, G, this is how much was spent, this is how much was built, this is what I've done, this is what I plan on doing. Okay, it's a very clear-cut presentation of sorts of his vision.
Yes.
What stops, I fail to understand what really is stopping the opposition or any party in the opposition in taking the lead for presenting a vision plan.
No, nothing is stopping them. Devika, nothing is stopping them. It's that hatred towards the man. It is that hatred towards the man which has made them forget what their ultimate aim should be. And in that, one after another, they keep on committing the mistakes. Who stops them for coming out with a vision document? When we are seeing that 4 trillion economy today, he says 2030, I am saying 2027, 2028. Will be a 5 trillion economy. And what stops Congress from coming out with a vision? They term someone as the best finance minister or the best finance minister in the world. He referred to him today. When India was 11, what stops them? They had stalwarts of RBI governors and this and that and all. They could have come out with the policies. Even today they can come out with that. Their vision document is nowhere to be seen. The reason for that is because they have developed a Bhanumati. They have set up a Bhanumati ka Kunba, and in which a man is launched and launched again and again and again 9 times to become a prime minister. This is the problem, and that is what Parivarvad is.
Okay.
One needs to understand this.
Okay, Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, you wanted to make a point.
No, I first want to make a point for data point. I found some data, and this is not my data. This has all been reported in. And if you want, I can throw the source. Please read the Deccan Herald report, which I was just reading, which has clearly compared, the UPA 2 terms and BJP's 2 terms. And I read it that from 2004 to 2013, Indian economy saw a massive boom, growing at a rate of 7.74% per year. In Modi's 10 years, the GDP has grown at 5.77% per year. While the UP era weathered a global financial crisis in 2008-9, the current government has also combated once in a lifetime pandemic. The numbers shows that on average, the UP government was 2% points better than the current dispensations in terms of the real GDP growth. So that is the one simple data which talks about the entire GDP growth.
Okay.
Now, see, there isn't, and this is, I'm quoting you, this is a Deccan Herald report.
Okay, understood.
So the point is that a government which believes in hyperbole, a government which believes in a kind of in propaganda, a government which believes in setting a narrative which is basically based on a shaky and ambiguous foundation. And this is the first time I am hearing that an opposition party has to give a economic data point of development of a country. If someone is ruling
Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, that's an absolutely important expectation of the people. On what basis do they want to come to power?
No, obviously, so that there would be a vision statement, but they
cannot
talk about the data point. They cannot be talking about the data point.
Neither is the Prime Minister. Honestly, the Prime Minister is not only talking about data points. When you say that we were developing at a rate of 7.7 under the UPA versus 5.7 under Narendra Modi, do you realize that in the country perhaps people feel that the development under Modi, whether be it slow, is actually trickling down to the people versus that 7.7% development was not trickling down?
Oh, who says that? And
I am asking you this question. If we were going so fast and we were developing so well under the UPA, then why was the government even thrown out of power in the first place?
Yes. Oh no, that is a very typical question. It always happens. In the Vajpayee's time, there was a campaign of India shining, and then why Manmohan Singh came. So in a democracy, the government
we're just basically going through a political cycle where. So, as per your point, we are just going through a political cycle where no matter which party comes to power, there will still be the same sort of development in the nation.
Yes, I think, yes, that's the point I am making.
And that's what the opposition is banking on. That if we come to power, desh to aage badh hi raha hai.
And my point was that, see, for a development and well-being of a nation, economics is a one indicator. There are other indicators as well. There are economic indicators, there are social.
Yes, and when the Prime Minister says that I have made so many houses, of which 73% are owned by women, these are the toilets that we have given. These are the number of homes that have got fresh water connections. These are the homes that have got bijli. These are the highways and roads that are being made. This is the Vande Bharat that is being launched. These many new airplanes are being procured. That's the actual data point, no? Not whether it was 7.7 versus 5.7.
No, that's not the actual data point. That's a developmental indicator. So obviously, when you are the government, you will have to do the things. But when you look at absolute terms, because if you were talking about as if there is an economic renaissance on this country, and therefore, when you look into the comparative data analysis, that is clear that the growth in GDP growth during the Manmohan Singh's UPA government was better than the BJP. But you set a narrative where
nobody's trying to demonize the UPA government. Firstly, nobody's saying that none of the previous governments did anything at all. Nobody is doing that.
This is what exactly? No. But then, on the one hand, you justify saying that the Prime Minister said or the BJP said that the India got independence in 2014.
I'm not justifying it, sir. Who am I to justify it? No, I'm nobody to justify it. I'm saying that the Prime Minister, just as the opposition is free to use whatever words against him or his government, he's also free to say. Then that freedom of speech and expression will extend to him also. Okay, I have 1 minute left. I'm going to give 30 seconds to Savio and 30 seconds to Himanshu, but I need to wrap this up. Savio, with you first.
You know, my learned friend, Mr. Mishra, when he's comparing GDP data, he forgets a very important fact, that while the country was in recession, while the world was in a recession in 2008, 2009, economic activity didn't stop. But what happened during the COVID pandemic was that economic activity did stop. There was no transactions happening. There was no business happening during the lockdown. And that did have an impact on the economy. And that did have an impact on the GDP. But for the person who's a common citizen, while the GDP does make some sense to him or her, they are most importantly looking and being decisive on what are the benefits that the government has brought to them in their homes, in their lives, in their jobs, in their education, in their healthcare, in their ability to get loans to do business, in their ability to get loans to buy a home, in their ability to get good water, in their ability to get toilets, in their ability to get food, in their ability to get various other benefits. That is what the common person is looking at. So you want to continue in an economic jargon, you're most welcome to at a ground level. It is roti, kapda or makan. And that is what the people of Goa, people of India want.
Okay, Himanshu, but 30 seconds to you as well. Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, I'm running out of time. I just need to wrap this up. Himanshu, but I'll let you have the last word.
I would just touch on one single point, one single small point, and which he said, in defense, we are doing good things, certain good things. But still there are certain people who are talking of so many ill things about my army, and which I do not tolerate. To those people, I have a very simple question and a simple demand as a Bharatiya. Please, what was the agreement with CCP that was done? Please make it public. We need to.
I agree.
We need to do that. Because, see, talking about army and talking ill about army is something which cannot be tolerated. And he said in uncertain terms as a Prime Minister from the floor of the House. And this was a very, very, very important and alarming for the people who despise him.
Right. Okay. I'm going to have to wrap it up here. I've completely run out of time. I don't have more time on this particular debate, but hopefully in the next few months, because it's political season, we will perhaps have some more clarity from the opposition on what their plan really is, because ultimately everybody wants in a healthy democracy for there to be someone to keep the government in check, to keep the government accountable. But today, from what the Prime Minister said, he's clearly saying that the opposition has become his biggest cheerleader and supporter because they love to be in the opposition and not in power.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.